I caught them on the terrace. Adrian, my fiancé, kissing Vanessa, my best friend. My body went numb. Adrian, on our engagement night, I whispered. He didn't even flinch. Emily, you were never right for me. Vanessa belongs in my world. You don't, Vanessa smirked. Face it, Emily, you were just temporary. Something inside me shattered. I turned and walked out before they could see my tears. In the hotel lobby, I nearly collapsed. Until I saw him. Alexander Steele. Adrian's biggest rival. Billionaire. Ruthless. Dangerous. His cold eyes locked on me as though he had been waiting. For this exact moment, you've been betrayed, he said flatly. Adrian humiliated you in front of everyone. My voice cracked. Why do you care? He stepped closer, his presence overwhelming. Because I hate Adrian Blackwell more than anyone alive. And I think you do too. I swallowed, my heart racing. And if I do, Alexander's gaze darkened, then we can destroy him together. But you'll have to give me something in return. I stared at him, trembling. What? His lips curved into the faintest smile. Your hand in marriage. I knew you'd call. His voice slid through the line like steel wrapped in silk. I swallowed. Don't flatter yourself, Alexander. I'm not agreeing to anything yet. You didn't call to say no, he replied smoothly. You called because the idea is already eating you alive. You want to see Adrian's face when you walk into a room as my wife? My throat tightened. He was right, and I hated him for it. You're cruel. I'm honest, he corrected. And cruelty is just honesty the world doesn't like to hear. I gripped the phone tighter. Why me? You could marry anyone. Models, heiresses, women who'd kill to be Mrs. Steele. There was the faintest pause, and then his answer came, sharp and deliberate. Because you are Adrian's weakness. His pride. Taking you away from him will break him faster than 1,000 hostile takeovers. A chill ran through me. He didn't care about me, only what I represented. But wasn't that all Adrian had cared about too? Status, power, possession. Meet me tomorrow, Alexander said. Breakfast, 7 a.m., the Black Orchid Hotel. Don't be late. And before I could argue, he ended the call. I stared at the phone in my hand, trembling. The part of me that still believed in love screamed to throw the card away, to forget this dangerous man. But another part, the part Adrian had humiliated, burned hotter. Maybe Alexander was right. Maybe the only way to survive was to become more ruthless than the people who broke me. The next morning, I arrived at the Black Orchid Hotel. He was already there, of course, sitting at the corner table dressed in a dark gray suit, every inch of him radiating command. His phone was on the table untouched. He'd been waiting only for me. Emily. His voice dipped slightly, softer than last night, but still sharp. Alexander. I sat opposite him, my hands clenched in my lap. I came to hear you out. That's all. He studied me for a long moment before leaning back in his chair. Good. Because I don't waste time. I want you to marry me. Publicly. Within a month. My chest jolted. A month? Yes, he said calmly. We'll announce it at the charity gala Adrian's family is hosting. I want the world to see the betrayal carved onto his face when you stand by my side. I stared at him. His eyes burned like coals, steady and unyielding. And what happens after? I asked, my voice shaking. You'll live in my world, he said simply. As my wife. You'll have everything Adrian never gave you. Power. Respect. And the satisfaction of knowing you chose me over him. I narrowed my eyes. You're talking about me like a weapon. You are, Alexander said, his tone flat. But you're also more than that. Adrian underestimated you. He saw you as weak. I don't make that mistake. Something twisted in my chest. Part insult. Part strange validation. I shook my head. And what do you get out of this besides humiliating Adrian? His lips curved slightly. The one thing money can't buy. Revenge. Silence hung between us, thick and heavy. Finally, I whispered, and if I say no? Alexander leaned forward, his eyes boring into mine. Then Adrian wins. He marries Vanessa. He takes over the headlines. You disappear as nothing more than the girl he discarded. Is that the ending you want, Emily? My fists clenched under the table. The image of Adrian and Vanessa kissing burned in my mind like acid. The whispers, the gossip, the smirks of the society women who already thought I wasn't good enough. No, I said softly. Alexander's smile was razor sharp. Then say yes. I hesitated. My pulse raced. This was madness, dangerous, irreversible. But so was betrayal. I met his gaze, fire rising in my chest. Fine. I'll marry you. His eyes darkened with satisfaction. Good. You've just made the most dangerous and the smartest decision of your life. That night, the headlines exploded. Adrian Blackwell's fiancé seen dining with rival billionaire Alexander Steele. Society beauty Emily Hart spotted with Adrian's enemy, rebound or revenge. Adrian called me 6 times. I didn't answer. Instead, I sat in front of my mirror, staring at myself. My reflection didn't look weak anymore. It looked dangerous. For the first time since last night, I smiled, and I whispered to myself, let the games begin.
The news spread like wildfire. By morning, every media outlet screamed the same headline. Emily Hart engaged to Adrian Blackwell's rival billionaire, Alexander Steele. My phone didn't stop ringing. Friends, journalists, society women, all hungry for details. But I ignored them. Instead, I sat across from Alexander in his penthouse suite, where the city stretched out like a glittering chessboard beneath us. You've caused a scandal, I said bitterly, tossing one of the tabloids. On the table, our picture was splashed across the front page. Me walking into the Black Orchid Hotel, him following behind like a shadow of power. He glanced at it once and smirked. Good. Scandal is the fuel of revenge. I folded my arms. You didn't even ask me if I wanted this out. He leaned back in his chair, studying me like I was an unpredictable piece in his game. You said yes. That gave me permission. I wanted to snap at him, to remind him that I was a person, not a pawn. But, deep down, part of me knew he was right. I had chosen this. The elevator chimed, and his assistant entered. A sharp-eyed woman in a navy suit. Mr. Steele, the media requests for a statement are overwhelming. Also, she hesitated. Adrian Blackwell has been trying to reach you. Alexander's smile sharpened. Of course he has. He looked at me. Would you like to take his call? My heart clenched. Adrian, the man who had broken me less than 48 hours ago. The man who had replaced me with Vanessa without hesitation. No, I whispered. Alexander didn't look surprised. He simply nodded, then let him stew. In silence. The next evening, Alexander took me to a charity gala. The same society faces that had gossiped about my humiliation were now buzzing about my sudden engagement to the one man Adrian despised most. As we stepped out of the car, flashes exploded around us. Alexander placed his hand at the small of my back, guiding me forward. His touch was firm, possessive, calculated for the cameras. Smile, he murmured. I forced a smile, though my stomach twisted. Inside the ballroom, whispers followed us like smoke. Emily Hart, with Alexander Steele. She moves fast. Adrian must be furious. And then I saw him. Adrian, standing across the room with Vanessa on his arm. His jaw tightened, his eyes burning with disbelief as he watched me linked with Alexander. For one delicious moment, I felt powerful. Alexander leaned toward me, his lips brushing close to my ear. Look at him. He's unraveling already. I risked a glance. Adrian's glass was trembling in his hand. Vanessa whispered something, but he wasn't listening. His eyes were locked on me. Good, let him choke on it. Later, as Alexander and I posed for photographs, Adrian finally approached. His smile was fake, stretched too thin. "Emily," he said through clenched teeth. "I was surprised to hear about your engagement." I tilted my head, forcing sweetness into my tone. "Oh, didn't Vanessa tell you? We wanted to make it official quickly. No point wasting time." Vanessa's eyes flashed, but Adrian didn't look at her. His glare was fixed on Alexander. "You're using her, Steele. This isn't about her. It's about me." Alexander's smile was ice. "Everything is about you, Blackwell. That's your problem." The tension between them was electric. People around us leaned in, hungry for scandal. Adrian's hand twitched at his side. "Emily, you can't be serious. You don't know this man." I met his eyes, and for the first time, I didn't look away. "I know enough." And with that, I slid my hand into Alexander's and held it up for everyone to see. The cameras flashed like lightning. Adrian's face drained of color. Vanessa grabbed his arm, but he shook her off and stormed out. The room buzzed with whispers. I kept smiling, even as my heart pounded. Hours later, back in Alexander's penthouse, I finally let the mask drop. My body trembled with leftover adrenaline. "I did it," I whispered, almost to myself. "I humiliated him." Alexander poured 2 glasses of scotch, handing one to me. "No," he said calmly. "You wounded him. Humiliation fades. We're going to destroy him." I stared into the amber liquid, my hands shaking. And what if I destroy myself in the process? For the first time, Alexander's expression softened, just slightly. "Then I'll make sure you rise stronger. Trust me, Emily. Revenge is survival." I looked at him, really looked at him, and for a terrifying second, I wondered if I was starting to believe him. That night, as I lay awake in the guest room of his penthouse, my phone buzzed. A message from Adrian. "This isn't you. Call me, please." I stared at the screen, torn between rage and a flicker of the love that had once blinded me. But then I thought of Vanessa's smirk. Weeks passed, and every headline was about us. Emily Hart, from betrayed fiancé to Alexander Steele's queen. Adrian Blackwell's empire, shaken by rivals' engagement. Adrian was slipping. Deals he thought secured suddenly collapsed. Investors pulled out. Rumors spread that Steele Global was circling like a shark. And at the center of it all, I stood beside Alexander. Perfectly dressed. Perfectly smiling. Perfectly ruthless. But when the lights went out and the cameras faded, I stared at myself in the mirror, wondering if I even recognized the woman looking back. The night of the Blackwell Foundation Gala arrived, a grand charity event Adrian had built for years. Tonight, Alexander planned to end him. "Are you ready?" Alexander asked. As the car pulled up to the mansion, I nodded, though my stomach twisted. "What exactly is going to happen?" He glanced at me, his eyes like ice. "Adrian thinks he still has power. Tonight, he learns he has nothing." The moment we entered, the room buzzed with whispers. Adrian was already there, Vanessa clinging to his arm, her dress glittering like desperation. His smile faltered when he saw us. We walked straight to the stage. Alexander held the microphone with the ease of a king addressing his subjects. "Ladies and gentlemen," he began, his voice commanding silence. "Tonight we celebrate generosity. And what better way to honor that than by making history?" Gasps rippled through the room as a massive screen lit up behind him, displaying documents, numbers, transfers, proof of Adrian's embezzlement. Whispers turned to shouts. Cameras flashed. Adrian's face went pale. "This," Alexander continued, "is what Adrian Blackwell has done with the money entrusted to him. Stolen, hidden, betrayed not only his business partners, but the very cause he claimed to support. All eyes turned on Adrian. Vanessa staggered back from him, her mask cracking. "You bastard," she hissed, loud enough for everyone to hear. "You told me." She stopped, realizing too late. The crowd devoured every word. Adrian's world crumbled. In front of him, "Lies!" he roared, pushing through the crowd. "This is fabricated. Steele did this." But no one believed him. The proof was undeniable. I stepped forward, my voice steady, though my heart pounded. "No, Adrian, you did this to yourself. Just like you betrayed me. Just like you betray everyone." The silence after my words was deafening. And then, applause. Not for Adrian. For me. For Alexander. Adrian's face twisted with rage and desperation. "Emily, please. You don't know what he's doing to you." I looked at him. Really looked. The man I had once loved was gone. Replaced by someone weak, cornered, pathetic. "No, Adrian," I said softly. For the first time, I finally see clearly. Security moved in. Adrian fought, shouting, but it was over. He was dragged away, his empire collapsing with him. Vanessa vanished into the crowd, discarded like the pawn she was. Later, as the night ended and the crowd dispersed, I stood on the balcony, staring at the city lights. My hands trembled. "It's done," I whispered. "He's finished." Alexander stepped beside me, his presence as overwhelming as ever. "Yes, and you did it." I turned to him, my voice raw. "No, we did it. You gave me the weapon, but I chose to strike." For the first time, his mask slipped. His eyes softened, just a fraction. "You're stronger than you think, Emily." A lump rose in my throat. And what now? Was this just revenge, Alexander? Or is there more? He studied me, silent. Then, slowly, he took my hand. At first, it was revenge, he admitted. But somewhere along the way, it became something else. My heart skipped. For a moment, the world fell away. The pain, the lies, the betrayals. All that remained was this dangerous man who had given me power when I thought I had none. I looked into his eyes and realized the terrifying truth. I had fallen for him, and maybe, just maybe, that wasn't so terrifying after all. The next morning, the headlines told the story.